Without further ado, I will invite Jay to come to the stage. Please help me in welcoming him.
Welcome, everybody. I love being in Edmonton at this time of year because at this time of year in the 60s, in May in Edmonton, I would just have finished another year of microbiology department at U of A trying to educate resisting. And I was looking forward to take up my usual summer job at Shadow Lake Louise, where I'd become a bellhop. And somehow in my mind, that was more important than being a research scientist. It was certainly more lucrative as a summer job. Anyway, I don't hold it against the microbiology department. I eventually did get a degree of sorts. And the one thing that I did get from attending the University of Alberta and doing microbiology was that I was exposed to some really fascinating and incredible science, and I think that was a crucial step in my becoming a media person interested in science. So this is my second time of hosting this event. It was a great event last year. It promises to be the same this year. And you know, I was caught by an article in the Financial Post a couple of months ago, which made the point that despite all the attention being paid to oil and gas in this province, that in fact 3 industries that were probably going to lead the economic push in the future were tourism, agriculture, and forestry. Now tourism, it is the Rockies after all, that's no surprise. But agriculture and forestry I think might have surprised many Albertans, especially those in the oil patch. So today, what's I think really interesting is that we're going to hear some fantastic science connected to, as Stan said, food, agriculture, and forestry. 5 scientific presentations, and they all have, as you will soon see, the qualities of what I consider to be good science. They're incredibly diverse. That's the way science is. They're leading edge. Some of them might even be kind of teetering over the leading edge. That's what good science is always doing. And a really important point for me is that, and I don't want to embarrass the presenters, but the fact is that you will soon see that all 5 are incredibly passionate about their work and devoted to it. And I think when some governments, not this one, see science as simply a way of generating economic products, they're not just missing the point that basic science actually is the engine for generating ideas, but also that if you constrain science too much by saying it must lead in this particular direction, you're losing out on incredibly passionate, smart, creative people that otherwise would be part of that process. So I think that's actually a second argument for supporting basic science. So here's what we're going to hear about today. A couple of presentations on food safety, but from very different perspectives. BSE, which was a shock to the province 10 years ago, and probably still recovering somewhat from that. And on the other hand, microbial infection of food products. Very different. The holes missing in the science that we need to know are very different, and yet here they are, they're directed at exactly the same thing, food safety. You'll also hear about what I think is a perhaps counterintuitive connection between agriculture and chemotherapy for cancer. Catherine Field will explain that curious and intriguing connection because it promises to lead to a better and more effective treatment for cancer. Turning to forestry, Jack Sadler is going to show us how instead of thinking of forestry in the traditional senses as wood as a building material or pulp and paper, that in fact it could be an energy resource, and we could, as the title of his talk suggests, actually move from hydrocarbons to carbohydrates as a source of energy. And Dan Farr is going to, I think in some sense, take a step back from the specific topics and really ask a very broad question to which is attached a lot of research. How do we actually put a value on ecosystems? So, I just mentioned forestry. Most Albertans enjoy the forests for hiking, cross-country skiing, hunting, fishing, you name it. Question is, what sort of dollar value can we put on that? So that's the range of research that you're going to hear about today.